Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Two Girls ASMR Podcast. Okay, I'm Chow Ming,
I'm Dana.
and today we have with us Eugene.
Yay!
Eugene is a poly friend of me and Dana's. So, would you like to introduce yourself?
Alright, hi everybody. I'm Eugene, and I was from Ngee Ann Poly, and I studied tourism and resort management, which is where I met Chow Ming and Dana from. And currently, I'm in the army.
So, for today's topic, we'll be talking about why we study in Polytechnic for our post-secondary school education. So, let's all start off by sharing why we chose to study in Poly instead of JC or ITE.
Eugene, since you are the guest, you can go first.
Okay, I'll go first. So I chose to study in Polytechnic because since I was in secondary school, I already had somewhat a dream of what I wanted to do in the future. Like I wanted to be a flight attendant since I was in secondary school. And so high class cleaner, which like currently has no job in this current pandemic. But okay. But then when the choice was to choose between a JC or Polytechnic, I chose Polytechnic because it had this course like tourism and resort management, which actually taught us about like service wise and the hospitality industry, which is something I'm very interested in. So it was actually quite an easy choice for me to just choose Poly over JC. Yeah. So that's for me. And moving on to Dana.
Hey, no need like presentation on
Yeah, like presentation sounds like this. Moving on to you are too used to doing presentation. No, actually like that meaning, right? But no matter how well you did in O level, you will still choose Poly, right? Is it?
Yes, that's correct. But then I also don't have like.
Let's say
I'm a
4-pointer. Yeah.
Actually, I would choose JC.
Why?
No, okay, wait. You must see, right? It's because I chose Poly because I saw my JC choices lah. There wasn't much of a choice for me. Like the schools and then the streams weren't what I wanted. But then like for Poly with my results, right, I can choose like a variety of courses lah. So there's more choices for me in terms of that.
Oh, so it's like after eliminating from the choices you have, that's why you end up choose Poly lah. So it's not like you want Poly since the start. Is it?
I still wanted Poly from the start, but there is no like definite thing like I would definitely want to go Poly only. It's like it depends on how much I score lah. Because you never know what you will get for O levels.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, Dana.
For me, different though. I was like fixated on Poly no matter how well I did for like my O level. Like that means even if I'm a 4-pointer, I would still have chosen Poly instead of JC. Cause like I know that I'm not academically gifted or anything. So even if I score like 4-pointer, right, I don't want to go into Poly and go into JC and like die there. Yeah. So for myself, I think it was more of choosing which Poly course to go. And at first, my target was international business. But I was 1 point away from international business. So I was like, don't take the risk. In case I cannot get in, then I can't even get my second choice. Then that's going to be damn sian. So I straight up
Why cannot just play a second choice?
No, because if, let's say, because IB, right, international business is like quite hard to get in because the intake is very small. Like they only take in 40 per year. Yeah, so if I put it as first choice and I cannot get in, I scared I cannot get into my second choice. If like tourism and resort management TRM, if I put it as second choice, because like a lot of people may want to get in, and if they put as first choice, they have the first priority, right? So I was choosing between these two. So end up I chose to put TRM instead because I think also because like I like the service industry. It's just whether I want to be it in the future. Yeah, because after working like part-time job, you will go to like the service industry, but as a long-term job in the future, it's a different thing. But yeah, in the end, I still put TRM as first choice, and that's how I got into Poly.
And is that why you're studying mass comm now?
It's not okay for the 10th time. It's not mass comm, it's communication. It's different. Yeah. Yes. Okay, but then actually now that I think about it, right, I was thinking if I should have studied mass comm at MP instead of DRM, then I would have started this, stepping into this industry earlier. Because most of my, like the people that from poly that went into Wikimi, right, they are from mass comm. So they have a lot of prior experience. So now I'm like the one lacking behind, kind of. Yeah.
Then your hair need to be like the colors of the rainbow. Then you need to wear hipster clothing to school every day.
That is kind of true. I mean, I do have different hair color, except for green. I try everything else already. But yeah, it's just making people more more outgoing, more have a greater personality kind of people. Yes. Yeah, they have more distinct personality kind of people. But actually, Wikimi also very business minded, like that kind of students lah. It's just a mix between. It's like we are in the middle of ADM and art design media and business. So it's like if we cannot get into ADM, we cannot get into business, we come into Wikimi. Yeah, we are that kind of people. Yeah. Chow Ming, you
Okay, so yeah, so for myself, right?
Like IT, right? You only can get into poly or IT, right?
Hey, okay, wait. Okay, so I was from a very prestigious secondary school, in case y'all don't know. Okay, I was from Chongqing.
Okay.
Okay, that's why every time when people hear my PSLE score, they all toss.
Oh yeah, you have PSLE score high.
That's why I think I peaked at primary 6.
And then it stopped there.
Yeah, so I was from Chongqing, and that's it's like an express only stream school, and a SEP school. It's like those up there one. Yeah, then
what's the difference between SEP school and IP?
SEP school only got express stream, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, so I was like the bottom 20% of the school.
You want to say how you get into MP? Like which way did you get into the course?
So like I was saying, so I'm the bottom 20% of my secondary school, and my score is maybe good for some people, but it was bad for my school obviously. Let's say every Sec 4 class, only one person go to poly, and I'm like that one person.
Oh shit.
Okay,
really?
maybe two people. Yeah, because really very little people go to poly from
that
my
means
school.
That means all your friends all go JC.
Yeah.
Wow. That means all very smart.
Yeah, everybody is smart.
It's like
really,
go
really.
into top-notch JC kind.
Yeah, as long as you are above 10 points, right, for your L1 R5, right, you are like counted below average already.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So, or maybe even lesser. I think even lesser. Yeah, so from Sec 3, after looking at my scores and everything, I already planned to go to poly, but I still wanted to get a result that can go to JC, but I choose to go to poly. But that didn't really happen. Yeah, so okay, so the way I got into poly was through JPSAE, which is a scheme that is no longer present.
It's known as EAE now lah.
Yeah, but it's completely different because JPSAE can be done after JAE, your normal admission. So it's like a cheat code. Yeah, because I play sports, then I had a good portfolio, then I go for interview, then I somehow got into Ngee Ann tourism.
The teacher like your face.
Yeah, I think so also. Okay, so besides okay, so why I chose tourism? I guess I always wanted to just do business, and tourism was like more niche, and I didn't want to go for such a broad course. So yeah, tourism looked like the most attractive one at that point. And I think now after COVID, maybe it might become the least attractive one. But yeah.
You'll pick up again lah. But you know, that time when you say 2024, then can go back into leisure traveling.
Yeah, that's why. I don't know. I don't know if it will ever go back to speed.
It will definitely go back to speed lah. It's like one of the most like manpower needs lah in terms of it lah. They hire one of the most people lah. So you'll definitely not get out of job lah. Just maybe temporarily. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but for like 5 years, you're out of job.
I mean, depends on what you are doing. As in, like, depends on what level you are aiming at also. It can be management or just frontline, service line. So it also looks at this
Okay.
different like time.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Do y'all see the news about SIA?
No, the pay
Yes,
cut.
Yeah.
I saw.
Then my mom was telling me the stock is now at the lowest.
I mean, that time
Really?
I was on the way to the airport. Then I saw all the planes parked at the what's that called?
Runway.
The airways. Yeah, the runways. Then I was like asking my parents, do they have to pay for like parking there? Then it's like, of course, right? Then I'm like, oh yeah, then maybe they got season parking there.
You study
that-
so you don't know need to pay for parking.
I mean, I forget already lah. Airport management, we also never learn whether they got, right?
Yeah,
Not
we got
airport management, we learn airline management. Is it?
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
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 Okay. So
But actually, now
moving
thinking
on.
back, right, I think it's like one of the main few things that got me attracted to tourism, right, is that they told us every year you can travel. It's like first year we got cruise trip, second year got the Chongqing trip, then third year you can inter overseas. Technically, yeah lah, you got travel every year lah, but yeah, that
Oh
was one
yeah,
of the
you travel every year lah.
yeah, we did travel every year.
Okay, yeah. So like what Dana said, what are some of the highlights of your poly life? How would you market poly life to people who want to go to poly, who are choosing between poly and JC now?
Actually, I would say like I don't have any regrets choosing poly over JC leh. And I think some people may argue that going to poly you have a lower chance of getting into local U, but that isn't really the case anymore. It may be like that last time, but it isn't anymore. Then poly is more of like you have a head start to the industry that you may want to be in next time, and it may also serve as like you want to test out whether you would like this industry or not. Because by the time let's say you want to study tourism, you want to try out the tourism industry, and if you choose to go JC instead, right, by the time you study tourism in uni, right, it'll be kind of too late for you to change the industry you want to be in. But let's say I study tourism in poly, but I realized that I don't want to be in the tourism industry anymore. There is still time for me to change the course of study in uni, something like that. That's what I feel lah. And at least poly is, if you are the kind that is more of like, you don't want to boil all your hard work right into one final exam, right, then poly is for you, because we don't take like one final A-levels, that kind of grading to see whether you can make it to local U or anywhere, or to study a degree. Yeah, it's more of a cumulative record system, grading system.
I thought you would talk about all the overseas trip and everything.
I mean, yeah, that counts with you also lah. That's like definitely the highlight, especially overseas intern. Although like it depends on whether your overseas intern buddy is good or not.
What?
Yeah. I mean, okay, wait. For the listeners, right? Me and Ejin intern together. Like only one of us went to Taiwan to intern.
Basically, we went overseas together every year. Okay.
Yeah, every year.
Oh yeah, that's true. Every year.
Okay,
That's
so
right,
year one we have our cruise trip. Okay, we went on
the
this.
same class. Yeah, on the same class.
Yeah, we're all from the same class. So we went on our TRM cruise trip where we ate like eggless desserts every day, because I don't know why it's like a vegan cruise.
Really?
You all forget that.
I don't
I
remember.
think they cater to the customers lah, because to be fair, there was just like maybe mostly people from a particular country lah.
Oh,
In
yeah,
a
okay,
cruise
okay.
trip lah, so they cater to their customers lah. We can't argue with that.
Okay, so that was year one. Then year two, all three of us also went for a UIP trip to China.
Chongqing.
So Ejin and Dana went together also.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Actually, now they say.
Okay, wait, that was with the class. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Fun
Year
though.
1, year 2 was with the class.
Okay, but actually the plus point for this UIP trip is that we can clear modules there, but we were having fun more than we were clearing modules. I remember how we were like one day before presentation, we still deciding, hey, we to go for dinner. What
But
should
that
we
was
eat?
just us. Everybody else was so serious.
Yeah, everyone else was like practicing, rehearsing. Our priorities all went wrong.
Yes, my name
But we
Wong
still got A.
Yifen, bro.
Yeah, but still got an A. Yeah, that me fun, the lemon.
Yes,
lemon
if Xing Yun is listening to this,
love it. Okay,
Okay,
yes.
yeah, so that was
Then,
that was a 3 weeks what is it called? Student exchange at this university. Then
yes.
in year 3, Ejin and Dana went for 6 months internship at Taiwan together also.
yes,
Sounds
this
good. Hey, but it
this was
was fun.
different. Yeah, this was very different because it was only me and Dana, not with the class.
Yeah. It's like the group got smaller from one whole class to like a smaller group from a class, and then after that left two of us. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
but
it
it
was
shows
fun.
that there were a lot of different experience. Then it's like besides that, then me and Dana also with another friend of ours, Poi, like we were invited to F1. Yeah, for one night of the F1 event. Then we were like VIP guests with
It
like
wasn't just
tickets. that
normal
were-
F1. It's like the paddock club experience. It was
Yeah,
worth $3,000 for one day.
No lah, I think for the
It's
whole
$3,000.
thing.
It's
For one
$3,000
day.
for one day. Yeah. That's why
Okay,
when
yeah,
we
and
checked, right, we were like, wow, this is better than scholarships. Yeah.
yeah,
It's
and
the one in lifetime experience.
yeah, we should have went earlier. I still remember like Poi was late.
And you
Okay.
ate like the curry rice before, right?
Yeah, because of Poi. It's because of Poi. Okay,
Yeah,
so basically we went in and we were treated like gods. Like we had massage, had somebody paint our face, tell us our
clairvoyant reader.
fortune. Yeah, somebody told Dana she'll get a boyfriend in the next
14
14 months.
Yeah.
Wait, did it happen?
Yeah, then I got it in 10 months.
And it happened.
Yeah,
Okay.
and the funny thing is the clairvoyant reader tell me that I should stay in the industry I'm in. I tell her no, I want to change already. I was like, I'm going to defy the fortune that you tell me.
Yeah, and it was just a very good experience. I have never ate so much in my life. It's like everything had truffle, everything had caviar.
Oysters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's like all the good food that you can never imagine to eat.
Yeah. And we sat on the flyer and everything. Yeah. So this is a very exclusive experience that not every student will get. I guess these were like the highlights of my poly experience. Okay, so what about like CCAs and outside of your study activities? For myself, I think I was the only one in a proper CCA.
What do you mean? I was in high club for a minute.
Dana was in ODEC too, I think.
I was in ODEC too for another minute.
Okay, I was the only one in a CCA for 3 years.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, so there are a lot of activities besides studying in poly. So there's like 100 and something CCAs that you can join. Got like clubs that you can pray to Amito for. Got clubs that you can what else?
Singing and you can literally start your own club as long as you have 5 people, and then you apply in school. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a lot of interest groups that you can join. Like anything you can think of, and if you can't think of it, you can start it yourself. Yeah, so for myself, I played sports, so I was in tchoukball for 3 years. Yeah, but mine is more of a common CCA. Maybe you can hear from Dana her other activities besides studying.
The ones that y'all want to flame me about, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, so I think what comes with poly experience is a lot of camp activities that you can join. Especially for like the School of Business, they hold camp activities very highly, and that was what I was preoccupied most of the time for all 2 years, not 3 years, 2 years only. What? It was still fun. I made good friends there.
I think you need to put like not sponsored, like this podcast. Yeah.
I know, right? Yes, this whole podcast is not sponsored by Ngee Ann Poly. Definitely.
I wish it was.
Yeah. But so basically I was very involved in the camp scene in year 1 and year 2. And by year 2 I was like in this thing called Envoys, BA Envoys, meaning we are like the school of like the ambassadors for the School of Business and Accountancy. So yeah, that was more of an interest group, not a CCA. And because of this interest group, right, I had the experience of planning camps, planning activities, finding sponsorship, and actually this brings us to one of our another highlight of TRM is the one where we plan a class event together. That's another thing to tell. So basically back to the camp stuff. We just keep shouting cheers and then go around talking to freshie.
You're not promoting what you're doing well.
What? How to promote? Camps is really for fun. It's really just for fun, eating a lot of supper together in big groups and like gaining 10 kg in the course of 3 years in poly. Just making a lot of friends, or it's like getting your connections. It's not fake friends, come on. Not everyone is a fake friend. Not everyone's a snake too. You can have snakes outside of BA also. What? Yeah. Why you're coughing?
Okay.
Okay, now moving on about mine.
Then moving on to Sunshine Club, Eugene.
Okay, yes, that's right. Okay, so it's like people are like me, right? A bit introverted in some way. Like I hate to meet new people, that kind of thing. But poly is also like a place for you lah. In some way, it's just that you can actually for different courses there are like different schedules lah. So for business wise, we have more free time after our lectures and our tutorials lah. So you can do a lot of things after school. One thing is to go home definitely after just right after your lectures or tutorials. Secondly, or like me, I have like different part-time jobs like after which I work after school. Then I had 2. So that shows how much time you can actually squeeze out of it if you plan properly your working schedules and also your school schedules. And I also did join like CCAs for a while. I did join like maybe 2 CCAs, and then I left after because I guess I just couldn't continue inside the CCA because of the different cultures lah. Because some CCAs actually may be dominated by a certain like school faculty which you may not be able to like get used to and mix well with. Yes, correct. Yeah, and then right, I still managed to get a bronze CCA. Yeah, so it just shows that right, there's many other ways that you can actually earn all these points. It's like through competitions. Like me and Dana also went through a competition, which we suddenly like, what? Why are we inside this competition? And then we also and then we also like earn points through that or you just helping out with the open house, you can also get CCA points. So
and be class rep.
Yes, class reps also. Just go and snatch You'll get, maybe if your lecturer is good, right, you get some vouchers or some stuff
Yeah. Oh, and then on and off, they also have like seminars that if you attend, you get 1 CCA point, that kind of thing.
Correct.
Actually, now I kind of think of it, right? You mentioned so many things. I realized that I go through a lot of things with Eugene. Like everything also Eugene is about.
Everything is with Eugene.
Yeah, it's like the competition also with Eugene. The what's that called? The
only F1 don't have Eugene.
Yeah, only F1 don't have Eugene.
I was working my ass away on the other side of the island at Gardens by the Bay while you all are enjoying all your shit.
Yeah.
I was looking through your IG stories. Okay.
Yeah, that was the only one.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so parents, right, is like a big factor. So did your parents wanted you all to study in poly, or did they want you all to go the traditional route, which was JC then go to uni?
For myself, my parents were like you confirm go poly one. You are not academically gifted. Just go poly. Don't even think about it. Don't go and fight with all the RI people.
Wow, I can't tahan. Coming from
and that's
both of
exactly what I did.
your coming from both of y'all saying that you're not academically gifted, it's like saying that I dog shit.
It's real though. Like, okay lah, for myself, it's like, yeah, it's like, okay lah, maybe you start growing at different age, or like when you start
I
to study or
peaked at
some way.
primary 6. I peaked at primary 6.
And then you stop there.
Okay lah,
Mine
for
was
me,
Okay.
during secondary school, my parents, because I wasn't very good in studies lah, since primary school. Like, since primary school, they look at my result, they were like, you confirm go normal tech one lah, or normal academic ah. Then my results come out, like, okay lah, can choose between normal academy and express stream. So I chose express stream ah. Then after that, when I finished secondary school, then they look at my prelim results and all that. Then they were like, you go ITE lah. Then I was like, huh? Why? Like, you confirm cannot go JC, that type of results. But then, I mean, going ITE is not a bad thing lah. You also, something like poly, just that you may take a longer route and you say, can choose what you're interested in lah. And then I look at my results, then I was surprised lah. I was like, not bad. Can go poly, still can go this like business in Ngee Ann. Because like business in Ngee Ann is like one of the niche for Ngee Ann Poly. So it's like, not bad. So I go Ngee Ann Poly. So I was lucky in a way that my parents was quite flexible with the choice that I can have lah. Because I know of some parents who are like, you die must go JC lah. You go poly, no future. You may not be able to go into uni. But that's definitely not true. It's just a choice of whether you want to go public uni or like private uni. In like both ways, you're still able to go in. You're still able to get your degree. It's just in a different way, in my opinion.
Actually,
Okay,
yeah,
I give you.
very true. What?
Wait, we give everybody some context first. Okay, Dana, what's your PSLE score?
I'm a 223.
Okay, EG, what's your PSLE score?
I'm a 199.
Okay, and I'm a 245.
One day.
I'm a 245. Okay, and then our O level score.
I think L1 R4 lah. L1 R4 for poly ma. So I was a 10 I was a 10 pointer. Haven't -2 yet. No wait. -2 then 10. If not, it's 12. L1 R4 is 12.
L1 R4 -27.
Wait, how much was tourism? How much was TIN?
10.
I was just
I'm a 13, then -2 become 11. So as you can see, PSLE is a fluke.
No, it just means that right at different parts of your life, right, you will grow differently. You know, some people 开窍, or like some people, realize how to study and know how to study at different parts of, the growing life as a student. Or some people, right, may find it easier to study mathematics, science, and English. But some people may find it easier to study geography, social studies, history. So it's very different.
Okay lah. I must say, to be fair, it's like when you come into poly, it's like whether you have an interest in that course also. If you don't have the interest in that course, right, you definitely wouldn't do well lah. So it's up to a lot of different factors for poly. It's like, it's like a small taste of what uni will be like also. So you have to choose properly actually.
It's very similar to uni actually. Yeah, because the whole campus life, right, is actually very similar to uni. And we make it sound like, poly is a very enjoyable thing, but it is tough also. You cannot just think that, you can easily score a 4-pointer. Yeah, it's not. That's not true. I mean, the only 4-pointer I got was freaking intern. I wasn't a 4-pointer at any point in time. Yeah. So it's not easy to score well in poly either, but it's just that poly comes with a different set of experience that you can get from JC. And it doesn't mean that it doesn't matter wherever you choose, either JC or poly, you still have to work hard. Because the people that go into the same course as you, right, there will be bound to have people, right, that will work extra hard to score that high score as well. And that is what will get you into the next phase in your life. And because no matter what you choose, either JC, poly, or IT, right, it's just a stepping stone into what you want to be or where you want to go next time.
But do you all have that impression before when you all were taking O levels?
What do you like? What kind of impression?
As in, did you all feel that, oh, okay, these are just 3 different routes that I'm gonna take before I go to uni? Because for me, right, because I was in such a I'll call it a top tier secondary school. Because I was in such a top tier secondary school, my impression of poly was rather bad. It's like if you go to poly, you are
Failure.
okay, not say a failure, but you're close to a failure. Okay, even though I already planned with my words, I say that okay, oh, I was really gonna go poly, confirm I go poly lah, I'm okay with poly. But at the back of my head, right, people are telling me poly is not worth my time. Yeah, like no matter what JC I can get into, like even if it's the bottom few JC, I should go to JC. Yeah, that was what I was taught by my school and my teachers and my friends.
I think it's
Yeah,
just like a very common misconception of what people have of poly just like how people have the misconception of ITE it's the same yeah, it's like how you are being taught and what people tell you about these different schools which is definitely not what you think it is There's still like a myriad of opportunities no matter which school you go to
Yeah, there's always a way out as long as you work hard, and the distance between poly and JC is closing in, I would say. But now that
Over
I'm
time is
applying,
change already, what?
but now that I'm applying for uni, I still feel I think there's a slight distinction
Correct. I
between
mean,
poly and JC students.
it's true now that I'm in uni, right? I still do notice that majority of them are from JC, but it doesn't mean that when you go into poly, you don't stand a chance into getting into a uni. You still have a chance to get into uni. You just have to work hard as well, because it doesn't mean that you go into JC, you can do equally well to get into a local U of the choice that you want as well, or even a private U, because it's not easy to do well in JC as well. Like I've seen friends and I've seen people around me that retain from JC year one. Some people choose JC because it's 2 years or so. I mean, poly is 3 years, then JC is 2 years. You want to save time, that's where you go. But I know of people who end up retaining in JC year one. Then what is the point? It will still end up being a 3 years program. Yeah, and it doesn't mean that once you get into JC, you can do well. And if you're still going to study the same few subjects that you study in secondary school and you will still end up not liking what you study, then what is the point of going to JC? I think at the end of the day, you have to study something that you are interested in and not just go through motion.
Okay, so I asked the question to our not so many people following, and I asked on my own Instagram as well about why people chose to study in poly or JC. Okay, what some of them said were, okay, for the people who were in JC, one of them said, okay, because they didn't know what they want to study in poly. So do you feel that if you don't know what you want to study in poly, you should go to JC?
For me, I would say yes. Because you wouldn't want to like go into poly, right? And then you just randomly choose a course, right? And then you just find out that, oh shit, I'm not interested in this. And then you waste even more time to transfer back and forth in a way for me. Or you just like go through the motion and just finish your diploma, right? And then you got stuck and then you are like, hey, actually I'm not really interested in this. Should I jump to another like degree course like Dana, like that Yeah, something like that.
But just now, like what Dana said, that let's say she took tourism, right? And now that she realized she doesn't have as much interest as she thought, that's why she's studying in comms now in uni. Yeah, so maybe another way to look at it is to try out something that you're slightly interested in, then you know whether you are interested in that.
Yeah, but at the same time, right, you have to keep in mind that if you are really testing, because I went into TRM knowing that I like what I'm studying, and I still do like the tourism industry. Just that I know that I don't want to be part of the tourism industry in the future, and because I like the industry, I was able to study. So you still have to keep in mind that when you want to test water, you have to have a certain you have to know your own capabilities. You cannot be like, oh, I want to test whether I can be an interior designer, so I go or architect, then I go into architecture. It doesn't work like that, because if you want to be an architect, you have to have a certain skill set and a good amount of interest to be able to carry on in that course. You have to know for yourself what you want to do. You cannot just waste that, few years of your life there or wherever. So if you really, really don't know where you want to go, yes, you can go ahead to go with JC, but at the same time, you must know that when you go to JC, whichever JC you choose, you have to work extra hard you have to work very, very hard to do well in A-levels. So at the end of the day, no matter what, you have to do well so that you have more opportunities and more choices, so they can choose what you want, not the school choose you. You get what I mean? That's always my mindset lah. I aim to do well so that I have choices, not the choices are presented to me. Yeah.
Okay, then another general answer that I got was that Poly gives you more realistic experiences and more hands-on experiences as compared to JC, where you study things that you study in secondary schools like chemistry, biology, that don't have everyday use and don't prepare you for the workforce in future. Yeah, do you all think that that's true?
Now that I'm in uni, okay, I used to think that way when I was in poly, but now that I'm in uni, right, I disagree to that because I have a lot of friends from uni, right, that studies like chemistry, physics, pure physics, pure chemistry, and now that they continue to study like engineering or all the chemical biology stuff in uni, right? Yes, everything they study in JC comes to use, and those who actually went to poly, right, will find it very, very hard to catch up. So it kind of depends on like which path that you want to take. If you're going to the science, the more of the science stuff, then I think JC won't be a wrong choice either. Yeah.
Okay, for me, right, I mean, Dana is talking more of like academically in a way. Then I'll say more of like life skills in some other way in poly. Then I would like agree with that statement Like poly will give you more choices to work with different people, and you're always like mixed around with different groups of people. You're not always with the same like classes So it really forces you to interact with different types of people from different schools, different backgrounds to come together to actually work on a particular project. So this is where you actually gain all your valuable life skills. Like how are you going to work with these people in the future, like in the workforce. You are not always with the people you are comfortable with. You will be forced to work with different people from different companies and departments. Yeah, so like in life skill wise, I would say yes. JC wouldn't give you that much of an opportunity to learn all this.
Yeah,
Like
and
internships
everyone,
this.
everyone always say that's like the selling point of poly in general, because projects that we get in touch with is usually like you do real life projects or you work with like industry partners. Like our FYP, we work with Kidzania, that kind of thing. It's more why. I mean, it is the project after that we work with. Yeah. So no matter what happens to the company.
Singapore.
no matter what happen to the company, but it is very different when you are able to work with real life industry partners. Yeah, because you have to listen to your client what's that called, requirements, what they want from you and everything. Yeah, and that's something that something that JC doesn't offer. So, and then I think you also can test out whether you are more of a work in a group kind of person or a work individually kind of person. Because not everyone can work in a group, and that is something that you have to do in poly, because literally almost probably 90% of whatever you are doing in poly all involve group work. That's why like what Ijin said, you have to, then you can see how you can work with different people and different personalities in poly.
Okay, one last question. So if you all could turn back time to when we got our O-level results, would you all have chosen the same course and school as you did?
Yes. Like I really, really will. Like I miss poly right now. Yeah, like I miss.
You won't study comms, man?
No lah, I still don't think I will study comms. Because if I didn't study TRM, right, I don't think I would have ended up in comms as well. It was like a stepping stone, and because of the experience I had, because I was in school of BA, I was in touch with publicity and everything. That's how I got to like this industry as well, the communication industry. Yeah, and that's where I moved to communication. And if I studied something else in poly, right, I don't know if I can do well enough to get into a local U either. everything there's a cause and effect. If you change the past, it may not be the same in the future.
For me, I would still choose the same, I guess. But because there's so many opportunities presented to you, right? You are not very sure, maybe which one you may want to lah. So now thinking back, right, I may take it's still business wise lah. It's just a different course, maybe banking and finance or something, a different niche lah in some way. Maybe because after going through tourism, then your interest may change sometimes, So you will change, you'll choose a different course maybe if you can turn back time. But it's all because of after going through tourism lah. Then you will know what you really want after that.
For me, I think maybe I would have gone to business studies.
Really? Why?
That's
Maybe,
a very
maybe.
general
because-
course.
Yeah, but it's just what I'm currently facing in my uni choices. I don't want to study tourism anymore, and I don't really have other things that I want to study.
Besides business.
Yeah, besides business. Yeah, so maybe if we could go back time, I'll still go to a more general course. Although I will not say I regret studying tourism because there has really been so many experiences that I could only get in tourism.
Yeah.
And I could have been exposed to more if I was willing to going to a overseas internship like Dana and Ejin did.
Royal Caribbean was good too, right?
Yeah, it was not bad lah, but I didn't get a 4.0 out of Royal Caribbean, so shame on you, Royal Caribbean.
Hey.
Okay, I'm joking. I hope you're doing well with the COVID.
Of course not.
What?
I hope you'll do better after the COVID situation. I'm sorry, Royal Caribbean. Okay. But you should have given me 4.0. Okay, so any last word for people who are choosing in between Poly and JC?
I think for me, it's just very important. Just go for whatever you're interested in, honestly speaking. Don't care about what is the future job prospect, all those things. It will still come to you naturally next time. But now just follow what you are interested in and you will enjoy studying, which naturally leads you to do well in that aspect.
It's like the Chinese saying, 行行出状元.
Whatever that means.
Yes,
Whoa.
every occupation will you can succeed in every kind of occupation. There's no such thing as one occupation is worse than the other.
Which is why I choose Poly because no Chinese. Okay.
Oh, right.
If everything fails, go and run for election.
Oh.
Okay, with that, we have come to the end of yet another episode. Remember to follow us on our Instagram account and Spotify. Subscribe if you are listening to this on YouTube and be updated on our upcoming episodes. Once again, thank you so much for taking your time to join us, Ejin. And thank you all for listening to another episode of Two Curious Podcasts. We'll see you again next episode. Stay studious, stay curious. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Voice break.